Você já parou para pensar no que se passa na mente de um lutador depois de encarar uma lenda como Alex Pereira? Hoje você vai ouvir Khalil Rountree abrir o coração para Joe Rogan sobre tudo o que viveu dentro e fora do octógono. Ele fala da luta, dos erros, do que aprendeu e da gratidão imensa que sente por dividir o octógono com Pereira e depois da luta ser reconhecido e aplaudido pelos fãs, mesmo depois de uma derrota. Fica até o final, porque essa história vai te inspirar de um jeito que você não espera.
Like my mind through this camp, through this fight, man, like I'm so happy for everything that I went through. Honestly, like there was nothing that was going to take away like my shine or my joy or my feeling of like being ready, being prepared. It was a battle with my mind, and every day I had to make a choice to like
Stay on
to
it.
just be better, to be
Yeah.
bigger, to be happy, to just, to just like embrace everything. This was all like everything's just been about embracing the obstacles that come.
So the last time we talked was before the Pereira fight.
Yeah.
And it was a great fight.
Thank you.
You had some great success. It was a tough fight. And then what is it like after that fight? So you face the best in the world, and you know that you can hang with them. You lost the fight, but you didn't gain a ton of experience. You went 5 rounds with one of the greatest. And what is it like after that?
I'd say everything seems very different now. I have been, since the Pereira fight, I've been to, I'd say, more than 6 countries. And there's fans there. Everyone like knows who I am now. And that is something that was a shock to me. Especially coming off a loss and just knowing that like I gave my all in that fight, and that's, I guess, what the people wanted from me, to get that type of like acknowledgement, because I'd been in the UFC for so long. But that fight, I guess, really showed people like who I am, and I got to show the world who I am, and against a guy like Alex. So now I feel like I've at least kind of made my mark and been like, hey, I'm here,
Right.
And so people are now like, okay, Khalil, I know who this guy is. You can say the name, and now people kind of, they're familiar with who I am now. But the other thing that it showed me was that I now know who I am and what I'm capable of. I spent majority of that fight just soaking in the moment and just like, oh, I'm here. I was excited to be there. I gave everything I had, but then going back and watching it, I'm like, I saw a lot of the mistakes that I made.
What mistakes specifically?
The number one mistake that I think was made in that fight is that it was my first 5-rounder. And when I was going into the 4th, because I took a lot of damage in the end of the like middle to end of the 3rd, so I was up 1 and 2. The beginning of 3, I was starting to kind of. He started to kind of take over halfway through the round, and once he started hitting me, I was like, oh shit, he's established his range, and now I'm feeling it. So it wasn't necessarily like a cardio thing. It was just like I started taking damage, and everybody knows this guy hits hard. So I was taking the damage. I was rocked. I was dizzy going into the 4th in the break. I remember John Wood saying, all right, man, like you're doing great. 10 more minutes. Like you can do anything 10 minutes. Just stick in there. We got this. And because I wasn't familiar with the 5 rounds, I took 10 minutes as sellout. So in the 4th round, I came out like ready to, I wasn't thinking with the mindset of like, I'm up 2, he just took the 3rd. 4th round, I need to maybe relax, maybe
Pace
not,
yourself with the 5th.
not get hit,
Right.
whatever. 4th round, I came out, I bit down, and I went to war. I think that's what lost me the fight, for me personally.
So you made a lot of adjustments in the Jamal Hill fight.
1,000%.
Yeah, you could see it. You could see, first of all, what a performance.
Thank you.
I mean, you dominated a world champion. I mean, dominated him. It was such a clear-cut victory. And it was a victory where a lot of people thought that you were going to struggle with him. And, you know, you just really showed a level above the Pereira fight. And I think maybe part of it is what you're talking about, like choosing when to engage and when not to engage. Like there's moments in that fight where you were dominating the fight, but there's moments where he was coming after you. You just moved. You moved away from him. And I know it pissed him off, but it's like, hey, man, you know, you were way ahead. You were way ahead, and you were dominating the exchanges. Then when you chose to exchange with him, you were hurting him and dropping him. It was very impressive, man.
Thank you. And that was the product of, you know, really reviewing mistakes. And
you were also doing some wild shit like standing hammer fists. Is that something you practice? Were you practicing
Absolutely,
that?
man.
That's a crazy
Absolutely,
move, man.
We're artists, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that, you know, I try my best to always embody the artist in mixed martial arts. I think it gets lost in the growth of the sport of MMA, you know. But, you know, from the past conversations we have and you understanding kind of how I was before, like, man, I need some type of outlet for creativity, you know,
and that's what it is, standing hammer fist.
I mean, my mind, you know, just my essence is art. So I'm like, how can I, you know, paint this picture of like expression of combat? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different. We got Silat, we got Krav Maga, we got all these things, and it's like, let me paint. You know, like, what can I use to, you know, to
That's a bold thing to do, to use something very creative like that on a world champion, too. Jamal Hill's a dangerous guy.
Yeah, he's dangerous, man.
You hit him with standing hammer fist.
Yeah, I'm dangerous too, you know. Like I try to
sure.
I try to like I always try to insert myself into these things too, because I think about it. Yeah, Alex, fucking hard hitter, dangerous guy, and I have to like, yeah, so am I. Let's do it, you know. Alex or Jamal, same thing. Like I know he's got one punch power, you know, all these things. I'm like, let me insert myself, let me take some chances, let me be bold, you know. I think.
Se curtiu essa história inspiradora, deixa o like aqui embaixo. Isso ajuda muito o canal a crescer. E já se inscreve para não perder mais nenhuma conversa incrível do mundo do MMA. Valeu por assistir. Até a próxima luta.